Welcome, everybody, to Tuesday night. On behalf of First Amendment Sports, I'm Ken Marangola, joined by Kevin Ricca.
Opening day weekend in the greatest league in the country, and we're going to be the first ones to cover it because this is something that we adore. Missing our boy T. Strachan tonight, we'll keep him filled in, but we got some serious business to talk about.
Four teams in play Friday and Saturday. The big boys, all four defending WCAC champions, represented, of course, by their coaches. Of those four teams, Kevin, 3 sophomore quarterbacks, 1 senior. There's a decided advantage there. We'll get to that. On Friday night, though, heading out to Olney, Maryland, where Andy Stefanelli and the defending champion, good Counsel Falcons, host the St. John's Cadets in a battle between Andy Stefanelli and Pat Ward. They've seen each other before. This should be a fun game, and there's something on the line already in October.
Yeah, since the pandemic, those two coaches have won all the championships, and we should start off talking with Coach Stefanelli and the good Counsel Falcons as the reigning #1 team in the area, coming off last year's 10-1 monster season, 6-0 in the WCAC. We all know that is extremely difficult. Coach Ward was capable of doing that in 2021. And that's what it takes in this league. You got to go. You got to run the table.
You got to run the table.
You can't rely on those last two games. You have to. We said each one of these games, these regular season games, represents 1 quarter of the season. That's 4 games to make your mark, and you don't have enough time to get caught sleeping on a Friday or Saturday afternoon.
That's right.
Ken.
That's right. Friday night, as the Falcons take on the St. John's Cadets, we'll see a lot of players that we didn't see walk off the field at the end of last season in positions of great impact for both of these programs. Let's start on the good Counsel side. Brand new quarterback. A brand new leadership core, really, of a good Counsel team. And it all, of course, starts with Andy Stefanelli.
Absolutely. And the brand new quarterback, sophomore Jackson Rice, one of 3 starting sophomores in the league this year, outside of Denzel Gardner at DeMatha. Every single one of these veteran coaches who you commented has at least 1 title under their belt. 3 of the 4 coming in with sophomore first-time starters. And, you can have as many offseason games as you like. But, you find out about your guys this weekend. That's the most exciting part about what we get to do. Jackson Rice had a bit of a coming out party against St. Joe's Prep. He went 15 for 25 for 267 yards and 3 touchdowns. I know his quarterback coach, Sean Stripmatter, was extremely excited about his development when that went down. And it's really that's when that kicks in early in the season. You start to build that confidence heading into the WCAC. But you never know how it feels till the lights go on Friday in Olney, Maryland.
It's the second of 3 seasons in WCAC football. The first part of the season is all the games that aren't WCAC play. Then you get into the WCAC play, and then, of course, it's the playoffs. For both of these coaches, they're very familiar with getting their squads ready to play each other in the hopes that will make them ready to play in the postseason. We've been at St. John's all fall. We've had a chance to see Coach Ward's program up close and personal. Another sophomore quarterback. But let's talk about a little bit about the matchups between these two teams on the field.
Yeah, as we get into Jackson Rice, I don't want to just leave out the rest of the guys on that offense, Ken. And I'm telling you, the one guy you do not want to leave out, especially on Friday when the lights go on, Demarion Folks.
That's right.
He led the WCAC last year in receiving touchdowns and yards. We know how explosive he is. He has 4 punt returns this year. Ken, at Stonebridge, he opened the kickoff return back 85 yards for a touchdown. 2 punt returns at 85 and 46 to go along with that night. Another 43 yards receiving.
He's so smooth.
That's 4 touchdowns, 260 yards by my calculus. That's not a guy you want to leave alone out there.
So fun to watch.
And he's so explosive.
Yep.
I mean, 6 touchdowns and 798 all-purpose yards already this year. JoJo Williams, the first play of the season. You remember him now. He walked off last year, and you knew he'd be back with a vengeance this season. First play of the season, he showed why. Down in South Beach against Christopher Columbus, a top 40 team in the country. He takes the opening handoff 80. First play of the season. 10 seconds
Everyone wants to say, Coach Stefanelli, it's a down year, blah, blah, blah. Sophomore quarterback. No one told Demarion that. No one told JoJo that. No one told some of these defensive players that.
No one told Fahim Dalan that.
No.
I can assure you of that, Mr. The ferocity, the agility, explosion, passion he plays with the game. He's one of the top safeties in the country, and if there was a football game, an all-star game for high school kids right now played, he'd be playing in that.
Yes,
he is that good. That's the type of kid we're talking about. Out there with Grant Grayton at safety as well, and I'm going to say, can't forget about big Gavin Crawford and Iden Buchanan heading to West Virginia. That team is loaded. Andy Stefanelli has got them rolling right now after a slow start, brutal off-season schedule, out-of-conference schedule, but heading into Friday night with Pat Ward and Mike Ward and Antoine Bailey heading in, coming fresh out of Texas off of a win down there,
Big win
17-9
for the Cadets.
in San Antonio. Another sophomore quarterback, like you mentioned, Naeem Woods. Naeem Woods is the commander of the St. John's offense this season, and this young man is super exciting. He has got a live arm. You've seen it. I've seen it, and I think
he's got
the rest of the league gets to see it this week.
He's got guys to throw it to. Reese Williams made himself. He announced himself on the scene this season. I mean, he's obviously been a guy we've been talking about for a while, but right away finding the end zone and being a leader on offense, really wanting the ball in crunch time, and they're finding ways to get it to him on third downs in scoring situations. He's a treat to watch.
Yeah, their connection has been legit. Coming into the season, Reese had no scholarship offers. 5 touchdowns in the first 3 weeks later. Three different coaches come knocking at the door. Now he's got options. He will have plenty more. He's dynamic. He's explosive, and he's been in this league 3 years making plays, and he's not just done yet. Along with him in the defensive and in the receiver position, Amir Wallace-Jones. I've said this year he's the best blocking wide receiver I've seen up close in the last couple of years, and he makes plays in the passing game as well, along with Drew Williams, the good Counsel transfer, and this was all done amicably. This was a very cool deal, many friends on both sides, but there's no friends Friday night. But Drew Williams is kind of the slash of this offense, taking snaps under center, running the ball, making plays in the pass game, and he is tough as nails, running the ball and blocking on offense.
He's big, physical, and at the same time, he'll make you miss. But for me, when you watch that St. John's offense, Brayon Williams is. I think he's the linchpin. If you want to, the offensive line, yes, and we can talk about the offensive line. But Brayon Williams, he does it all. He catches the ball well. He runs the ball hard. He plays defense. He returns kicks. He holds, or he has held. So
he punted last week. He's an incredible football player.
He's awesome.
And
he's dominating.
And you're gonna love watching him. You're gonna love watching him run the ball a little bit. Him and JoJo Williams are gonna be a treat. These are both guys that have gone 200 yards. JoJo started the season with 256. Brayon's done it multiple times in his career and won't stop. And if you throw in that committee up front, Adrian Hamilton, Jordan Harrison, Bobby Luongo, Kenneth McManus, yes. That is quite the formidable force on offense, but the defense, and we'll say that's been the theme to this season, moving in for all 4 teams playing this weekend. Defense comes first, no different from Mike Ward's squad.
Kevin, did you see that play by Tariq Boney?
I sent it to everybody, and I think the whole world's seen it. We've watched Tariq Boney be unstoppable. He's been unblockable, and he's been a force to be reckoned with. But when he reached out and one-handed snagged the ball over an offensive lineman's helmet, behind the play, behind his back, and took off 55 yards down the sidelines for the house call down in Texas. In the Friday Night Lights, baby. That's a different play from a different guy. And when you watch number 44, and he is sticking with number 44, he switched from 7. When you watch him, you know you're watching a different cat. No doubt about it.
Is that game going to be streamed somewhere, Kevin?
Yes, I did see it was going to be streamed. It's going to be 14 US, and we can watch.
We can watch
wherever we're
good.
at, which is great news.
Excellent.
Yes.
We definitely want to watch that.
And we want to watch Tariq Harris, Hakeem Satterwhite in that back.
We haven't had a chance to see Hakeem Satterwhite a lot.
I know,
and now people are starting to catch on to the fact that he's not a Johnny come lately. He is an integral part to that program, that defense. He's physical. He's fast. Yeah. He has swagger. He's a leader. He's vocal. And he hits like a pile driver.
Yeah, when you get hit by number 2 or 3, you're going to look up and remember where they are. Now they're both in that defensive secondary, and both of them play an extremely physical game, along with keep an eye on junior Kai Connolly. He's been helping on offense, on special teams with a block punt return. He's got a couple pass breakups on D, playing linebacker, playing D back. He's been all over the place. He's a jack of all trades, and this guy will do anything for you, and he's going to prove that this weekend. Keep an eye on the big guys up front, Ray Arkia, Josiah Mpofo, and Will Polk at middle linebacker. And that's been the guys right there that we've watched doing a great job for the Cadets. This matchup, and only on Friday night, it's must-see television. There's a lot of great players. It's going to be extremely physical and fast.
We don't do spreads or anything like that. We'll just let you know that when Andy Stefanelli and Pat Ward get together, you can throw the spreads out. These guys know each other very well, and they will make it fun. They will somehow make it extremely close. It will come down to the fourth quarter. I don't think anyone would be shocked to see this game won on one of the last possessions of the game because the way that these two coaches play.
And the atmosphere out there, and only on Friday nights,
it's going to be fun.
It is. It's ridiculous. It's big time.
But you're going to wake up on Saturday morning and you're going to turn on First Amendment Sports.
There you go.
And you're going to get ready for Gonzaga playing host to none other than what I think we would all agree is the current favorites in the WCAC, just based on the fact that you got to give senior quarterbacks a little love, I think.
And when we say we don't do point spreads, don't do this one. Don't do one for this either. Because by the way, if you're the favorite in this league, it is by a hair, and it is for 1 second.
And it is for 1 second.
It is how the leaves blow in October down here.
That's right.
And so don't come taunting us when your team does something good, because we are not surprised. There's not one game, not one outcome that will surprise anyone in this basement.
Correct.
What we've seen and what we've dealt with. But if you were going to say heading in, I said it early in the season, so I'll stand behind it, and I'll say it on camera. I said Denzel Gardner is the senior returner in his 4th year starting, and I think that gives someone an edge right now. It's another 6-7 weeks till this season is officially over, Ken. But I'm saying coming in, when you got a guy like Denzel Gardner matched up with his backfield mate Bud Coombs for 4 years. 4 years these guys have played together. These guys have won 30 games together, 30-8 record together.
And Coach Bill McGregor just keeps on going. I mean, year in and year out, he's just there. We couldn't ask for anything. No one could ask for anything better than to have him coach their kid. The DeMatha program comes in this year with a lot of expectation. And again, these two coaches, Coach Trivers and Coach McGregor, going at each other on I Street. We've been there. We've done this game before. Again, this game's going to come down. We'll talk a little bit about DeMatha's. We talked about Bud Combs. We talked about Denzel.
Don't forget LeVar Keys, the Penn State commit.
They have athletes on both sides of the ball. Some of these guys do play both ways.
But LeVar, wide receiver, I got LeVar, and a lot of them do. And a lot of them are good. A lot of the guys we're talking about, that's their primary position.
That's right.
This is in this league. You got to do what
special.
You can do.
And they're going to have to throw the ball. And before they get to the championship, those two are going to have to start building that chemistry in the league. In between the whistles this Saturday.
When you have a man like Bill McGregor, like you said, in his 35th year with 17 under his belt, that is just remarkable. But a way better person, a way better guy, just like his D coordinator, Dino Campbell and Bill McGregor have done this for eternity, and there's no two classier, finer men. Those guys having a senior backfield really, to me, was the reason why I suggested that. I think DeMatha coming in, plus the way they've been playing as well. I mean, just having a guy for 35 years at the helm and understanding what it takes to win starting now. These guys got super close the last 2 years, losing 7-3 and 7-0 consecutively in the championship. They are hungry. Coach McGregor is hungry. And once again, it starts with defense. We're gonna ram on this point all night long in this league this year. Dino knows defense, and these DeMatha Stags know it as well, giving up less than 10 a game, as well as Gonzaga giving up 7 a game. So this is going to be one of those days where we're going to see some hard hitting. And
speaking of hard hitting, laying one on Roman Catholic was a very impressive result for DeMatha Catholic. On the other side of the ball, for the Gonzaga faithful and Coach Randy Trivers, I like to put the spotlight on that offensive line. It's a year older. It's a year wiser. Gonzaga with a sophomore quarterback, guys like Cody Hobson gone. Their big tight end gone. A couple of their big defenders gone. But they always have guys who are always in the right place. They are well coached. They don't make a lot of mistakes. And in particular on that offensive line, you talk about the tackle, big Xavier Rienzo, a couple other of these guys have been playing together now for 2-3 seasons. This is if the strength of your team, which it very well may be for Gonzaga on that offensive line, that's a hell of a place to be strong.
Yeah, and I'll say this: Zion Rogers at left tackle, Caleb Cole, Xavier Rienzo, trying to block Jermaine Mims heading to Ohio, Noah Chambers going to Virginia Tech, and Jacob Wallace in the secondary. Had to make sure I got my DeMatha guys in there real quick, but you talk about that offensive line at Gonzaga. It's always been the stalwart, going back years watching them. And right now, it's really helping out a guy, and vice versa, a guy who's almost plays like an O-lineman the way how physical he is, David Fred, leading the team with 9 touchdowns on the season. I mean, when you have a new quarterback, sophomore Jason Lindsay, 6 touchdown passes, getting off to a great start, the young man. But when you have that sophomore, you've got to rely on a guy, a bell cow like David Fred, who's taken every hit this league has to offer and just keeps on going. 122 yards last week with Kanoa Winston coming in, a quarterback, rushing for 116. You throw in Lincoln Fisher, 76 yards rushing. That's last week. That's 300 yards rushing that offensive line produced against Benedictine, historically a team that does not give up 300 yards rushing. So definitely got to keep an eye on that Gonzaga offense, that offensive line. And man, they got some dudes. But like I said, Lincoln Fisher out there catching the ball. Don't forget about him. He is a talented guy, and
He was. Him and Aiden Conrad had a little something going on by the end last year.
They sure did.
But that's also Aiden being smart and throwing to a guy like Lincoln Fisher. He put the ball in the air a couple times, and Lincoln went and made a play. At Gonzaga at home is always extremely dangerous
on defense,
and the ball bounces their way on defense. The wind kind of seems to always go against you if you're the away team on I Street. The way they got those buildings in is genius. I'm sure Terry Kernan, the AD there, had something to do with that.
Well, while you're mentioning him, let's go ahead and thank him for having us there this Saturday. You know, it's really important to us. Terry, it's really special, a guy that we've always appreciated. It's always been very good to us, Terry. And what Joe Rada did for us getting in there years ago, we'll never forget. So couldn't be more grateful for you to allow us to keep this thing rolling. We love being down there, and in that atmosphere, it's going to be tremendous. Nothing better than shouting out the best kids in the league with that opportunity, and we're very appreciative. And I'm sure the defense is going to be a little appreciative that I get to talk about them just for a second. Because, Ken, this defense is very, very special.
Okay.
Kanoa Winston heading to Michigan. We know what his deal is. He's one of the two best safeties in the senior class in the nation. We already talked about one of them, Fahim Dalan. Two of the best senior safeties in all of the nation playing right here in the Washington Catholic Athletic Conference. When you watch them play, you'll understand why. You'll see Kanoa this weekend. LJ McAllister heading to Stanford. Deuce Arnold. We've called these guys names forever. He's heading to Bowling Green. But a couple guys up there at the edge that you guys are not going to be able to take your eyes off of, Ken. Carter Meadows.
Oh, he's been my guy. He's a dual sport athlete. He's tall. He's long. He's physical. He's athletic. He's always around the ball. He'll play both ways, and he'll make an impact on both sides of the ball. He's one of the most fun players to watch in the league.
6'6", 220 with that athleticism, you are going to make an impact, and that's going to be a guy on the edge that's going to be hard to capture. You got to get out and get ahead of him with that reach and that speed and quickness. He's going to be a bear. And on the other side, he's got another junior, 6'4", 215, almost very similar. Put it this way, Tyson Harley and Carter Meadows both hold offers from Georgia, Michigan, Michigan State, Vanderbilt, South Carolina, and they both have a million others. But just to show you the level that they are playing at and what they're capable of, wow, I cannot wait to see these guys getting after it on Saturday. It's time. It's
Vanderbilt's
here.
Really, they're having a moment. They feel like they could come up here and get some guys.
Go get them goalposts back. We might need them next Saturday. Come on.
Bishop McNamara has the week off. And starting next week, the Bishop McNamara Mustangs have what many agree is the hardest 4 weeks in all of high school football, as they'll go down the gauntlet of Gonzaga, St. John's, DeMatha, and Good Counsel. And we'll hopefully be back on a weekly basis to talk about the matchups in the WCAC. Again, missing out on T-Bird. He'll be back, and he'll be with us on Saturday at 2 on I Street. Kevin?
Sam Terry, Gavin McIntosh. I didn't forget you. These guys are going to catch balls on Saturdays, and I don't want them throwing them at me in the end zone.
I mean, Sam Terry, that's a family. That's a
I
family
know.
that's
Trust
been around
me,
for a while.
I watch these guys play. Hey, I have you written down.
Yes.
Sometimes I can't read my own writing, but I know this. It's always been a joy to watch you guys play, and it's going to be this Saturday.
Beautiful day coming
Good
up.
luck. Stay healthy to all the boys in the league. Man, this is a special, special time, and we're fired up for you. Enjoy yourselves, fellas.
We will be bringing results on a variety of our shows from up and down the WCAC in both the Metro and the Capital. And, of course, at the end of the season, First Amendment Sports will be bringing you the championship for both of those divisions. We look forward to it.
They're still letting us do that?
They're still letting us do it. They are still letting us do it. On behalf of First Amendment Sports and the WCAC Network, I'm Ken Marangolo. He's Kevin Ricca.
Have fun this weekend, fellas. Have fun playing some ball.
We'll see you guys on Saturday afternoon.